Hello and welcome to Learn Tagalog Lesson 3-6. My name is Alan. In this video, I want to take a look at the word Nakatira. We've already seen it before in previous videos in this lesson, but I just want to focus on that word a little bit more. Okay? Now, these two phrases in front of you, you've seen before also. It's part of the conversation for this lesson. Let's listen to these. Saan po kayo nakatira?
Sa Binictican, sa Subic.
So what are we doing? We're asking, where do you live? Or where do you reside? Okay? Where is your residence? Type of thing. All right? Saan po kayo nakatira? And then they say, sa Binictican, sa Subic. Binictican is a nice little area in the Subic Bay Freeport zone, which is the old naval base, okay, U.S. naval base. It used to be in the Philippines, in the Subic Bay area. All right, so let's go on. Let's say, where do you live? Just like we just saw, saan po kayo nakatira, but instead use the singular word for you. Do you remember that? And therefore we don't need the word po. Try it. Okay, let's listen.
Saan ka nakatira?
Saan ka nakatira? Did you get that? Saan ka nakatira? Ka is the singular for you. Where you live, where you reside. Let's listen again.
Saan ka nakatira?
Good. What word means reside?
Nakatira.
Right, nakatira. Okay.
Nakatira.
Now, I like to bring that up because there is a word buhay, which means life. Just like mabuhay means long life, a lot of life. Mabuhay, long life. Okay? Buhay is life. And I just want to make sure that you understand that when you're asking Nakatira, you're saying Nakatira. That means where do you live, as we would say in English, but it's also where do you reside. Okay? So let's ask where do you live, but use the original way we've just learned. Instead of ka, which is the singular, go ahead and use po and then the plural kayo. Try it. And listen.
Saan po kayo nakatira?
And again.
Saan po kayo nakatira?
Good. Ask again, where do you reside? Or where do you live?
Saan po kayo nakatira?
And one more time.
Saan po kayo nakatira?
Okay. Now I realize in this slide we listen to that a lot of times. I want that to be anchored into your head because you're going to hear it just about every time you meet somebody. Okay? If you're in the Philippines and they don't know you and they're getting to know you, one of the things they're going to ask you for sure will be saan po kayo nakatira? Okay? And they'll probably use the po kayo version instead of ka because they don't know you yet. Okay? So it's being polite. Saan po kayo nakatira? So when they say that, what do you say? Let's go on. I want to talk about Binictican very briefly here, just to let you know that it is a place, like I said, in the Subic Bay Freeport zone, and it's near Subic Bay. And the other one that I bring up in a lot of these videos is Olongapo, which is also in the Subic Bay area. Okay? Binictican. You might check it out on the internet. It's kind of cool. All right. So we want to say that we live in Binictican at Subic, but we don't need to say all that many words. Just say in Binictican at Subic. Try it.
Sa Binictican, sa Subic.
And again.
Sa Binictican, sa Subic.
Great. Now let's say I reside in Olongapo. Well, we know how to say reside, right? That's Nakatira. We know how to say I, which is ako. So you would say something like Nakatira ako, reside I. How do you use the word in? What's that? Sa, right? Olongapo. Try it. And listen.
Nakatira ako sa Olongapo.
And again.
Nakatira ako sa Olongapo.
Great. Okay. Now you just said you live in Olongapo. Well, what if you don't live in Olongapo? You live in Maynila. How are you going to say that? Try it. And listen.
Nakatira ako sa Maynila.
And again.
Nakatira ako sa Maynila.
Great. Now, what's the word for we? Do you remember that? The exclusive we. That means you're not including the person that you're speaking to. Remember, that's called the kausap. You're not including that person. It's just we, not including the person you're speaking to. What was that word? Kami. Kami. The other one is tayo, if you are including the person you're speaking to, right? Tayo, with a T, tayo. But in this case, I want you to concentrate on kami. Kami. So, say, we live in Binictican. Okay, instead of saying I, ako, you want to say we. Try it. And listen.
Nakatira kami sa Binictican.
And again.
Nakatira kami sa Binictican.
Great. Easy, right? So, what's the word for you, singular? Right on. Ka. Ka. Okay. Ask, do you live in Olongapo? How would you do that? Think about it for a little bit. We've been asking questions before in these videos. You would say something like, live you, question mark, in Olongapo? Right? Try it. And listen.
Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo?
Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo? Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo? And again.
Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo?
Good. Ask, where do you live? Again, but this time, or say, where do you live, and use the po and kayo. We already learned this. Try it. And listen.
Saan po kayo nakatira?
And again.
Saan po kayo nakatira?
Good. I want to remind you about this word order when we're using ka and kayo. Take a look at the screen there. You'll see nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo and nakatira pa kayo sa Olongapo. Okay? That little ka likes to be as close to the beginning of the sentence as it can get. Okay? Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo? Nakatira pa kayo sa Olongapo? And in previous videos, I've already stressed that before, so I just wanted to remind you about it. All right. Well, when somebody asks you, where do you live? Saan po kayo nakatira? You can say lots of things. Okay, you can say, or they might say, do you live in Olongapo? Nakatira ka ba sa Olongapo? You can answer, yes, in Olongapo, right? Or you could answer, yes, I live in Olongapo. Or what if you don't live in Olongapo? You could say, no, in Binictican at Subic. Or you could say, no, I live in Binictican. Okay? So let's listen to some of these. Oo, sa Olongapo. That's yes, in Olongapo. Oo, nakatira ako sa Olongapo. Yes, I live in Olongapo. Hindi, sa Binictican sa Subic. No. In Binictican at Subic. Hindi. Nakatira ako sa Binictican. No. I live in Binictican. Okay? By the way, sometimes when you're using that word Hindi, if it's by itself and you're going to be saying some more right after that, oftentimes you can hear it said like Hindi. Hindi. I'm not sure if I brought that up in a previous video or not. So Hindi instead of Hindi. Okay? Hindi. So you can say Hindi sa Binictican because you're going to go on to the next sentence. All right. That's not a real big deal. I just wanted to bring that up. You'll hear it sometimes like that. Okay? All right. So to answer Saan Nakatira si Jose, what would that be? Where does Jose live? Saan Nakatira si Jose. You can say Nakatira si Jose sa Maynila. Jose lives in Manila. Or you could say sa Maynila nakatira si Jose. Okay? In Manila, Jose lives. Or you could just say sa Maynila. Right? So, very flexible. Lots of ways to say things. All right. If asked, where does he or she live? Saan siya nakatira? Saan siya nakatira? Where does he or she live? Remember, siya or siya is gender neutral. It could be he or she. Saan siya nakatira? What would you say? You can say he lives in Manila or she lives in Manila. And the way we do that is sa Maynila siya nakatira. Sa Maynila siya nakatira. You could also say nakatira siya sa Maynila. Okay? Nakatira siya sa Maynila. Very flexible. Okay, before we get into the next part here, I want to talk about this word dati. Dati means former or previous, something that happened in the past. Okay? So let's take a look at it. Here we have a phrase that I'm going to have you listen to, and then I'll explain what it means.
Dati akong nakatira sa Baguio.
Okay? Dati akong nakatira sa Baguio. Well, we know that dati means something in the past or previous. So it says previous, I live in Baguio. Okay? I used to live in Baguio, or I previously lived in Baguio. Probably in English we'd say I used to live in Baguio. Okay? Let's listen to her again.
Dati akong nakatira sa Baguio.
Great. How about this next one? We're using dati ako. Okay? Dati akong nakatira. Let's listen.
Dati akong nakatira malapit sa Manila.
Malapit. I'm not sure that we used malapit before in these video series. Malapit means near. Near. Okay? So, what is she saying? I used to live near Manila. Right? Let's listen to her again.
Dati akong nakatira malapit sa Manila.
Good. Malapit. Near. Okay. How about this one? Dito ka ba nakatira? Dito. That means here. Here. So what are we asking? Do you live here? Okay. What if somebody meets you on the street and they're asking, do you live here? Or they see you at your apartment building and they live nearby and they might ask, do you live here? Dito ka ba nakatira? Let's listen.
Dito ka ba nakatira?
And again.
Dito ka ba nakatira?
Good. Now, if they just met you, they may be asking as a more formal way, kayo, okay? They may say this.
Dito ba kayo nakatira?
And again.
Dito ba kayo nakatira?
So dito means here, here. Dati means previously, okay, in the past. Okay, let's listen to these.
Dito kami nakatira.
What does that mean? We know kami means we. Here we live. We live here. And again, let's listen.
Dito kami nakatira.
Great. How about this one?
Dito na ako nakatira.
Dito, na, which we see it as a linker sometimes. We see it as now or already. This means I live here now. Okay, dito na ako nakatira.
Dito na ako nakatira.
Nakatira. Okay, dito na ako nakatira. Let's look at the next one. That one has a word that we've never seen before. Magulang. Magulang. That means parent. Magulang mo. Your parent. Now we have the word before that, mga, which means it's a pluralizer. It makes something plural instead of singular. So, mga magulang mo. Okay? Mga magulang mo. Parents. Your parents. All right? Where live, you can almost think of it as the, where live the parents of you? Okay, where do your parents live? Let's listen.
Saan nakatira ang mga magulang mo?
And listen again.
Saan nakatira ang mga magulang mo?
Good. Hopefully that makes sense. Saan nakatira ang mga magulang mo? Magulang is parent. Mga magulang is parents. Mga magulang mo is your parents. Okay? Mo. Parents of you. Very good. Well, that ends lesson 3-6. We're going to have one more lesson in lesson 3. That's going to be lesson 3-7. All it's going to be is listening to a conversation that you should be able to understand by now. Okay, I'm not going to get into it too much and explain what it is. You should be able to just listen to it and read it or whatever and understand what it's saying. Now, I have a fast version of it and I have a slowed down version, so I'm going to play that in the next video. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this one. If you liked it, I'd appreciate it if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe down below. Also, like it. Okay, I really appreciate it. It keeps me going. Thanks a lot.